Hmm. All right, looks like I'm live. Welcome everybody. This is my daily vlog. I'm trying to do this once a day, and it's just going to be a bunch of random thoughts I have that come to me on a daily basis. And some of it might be some rants about some negative and struggling things I'm going through, or it might be some raves, which are some positive little wins or things that are going well in my life and in my business. This is going to be kind of general in nature, although a lot of what I'll talk about will be geared towards probably entrepreneurship and or internet marketing, to some degree digital marketing. So if that is in your field of interest, then you'll definitely want to tune in here and there and see what is going on in my life and what's happening. So yesterday was my very first vlog since 2017. And speaking of that, actually, I'm really pissed at myself because I should have started vlogging all the way back when I first got into digital marketing back in 2012. I mean, could you imagine the amount of episodes and the amount of content and videos I would have done at this point and how big my audience might be? It'd be ridiculous, right? And then in 2017, I knew I should start doing this, and I thought about doing it, and I worked on it a little bit, and I put out a couple, but I didn't quite have the right setup with video and audio and my environment. So I was like, I don't really want to do this. This is going to be a little bit tough for me to pull off on a regular basis. And so I put it on the back burner. And then, of course, when I finally got my own little office space set up, that's when I knew I could start doing this for real, where I felt like I had enough time and I had the luxury of having a private area that I could do it from without any distractions and any extra background noises and such overall. And so that's why I started doing it now. And with 2020 being a hectic year it was, and all the stuff I was doing, I mean, my first real exposure to getting more or less on video was with TikTok, and, worked really well. I really enjoyed doing that. And so I did that a lot in 2020. Knew I should do some more stuff outside of that. And then here in the beginnings of 2021, decided I was going to start a podcast. I was going to start doing some group coaching, where I'm offering that once a week to anyone who is interested in that. You can find that at kerrysgroupcoaching.com. That meets once a week for 1 hour, and I go over and I teach things about how to grow your business, essentially how to build your business. So it's anything related to digital marketing and or actual real business entrepreneurship stuff. Then I decided, you know what, podcasts are pretty hot. Podcasting's pretty big. Let me start doing a podcast. So I started doing that. I think I'm 5 episodes in so far. So I'm trying to do that once per week. And then yesterday it hit me. I'm like, dang, I really should be on here just going through and talking to anyone who wants to listen, basically, about the wins and losses I'm going through all the time and the things I think about on a daily basis. Because as a solo entrepreneur and working extensively with what I do and how often I'm working and things I'm going through on a regular basis, I'm like, I bet you there's a lot of other solo entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs in general that have some of the same exact struggles and or wins, and would love to be able to listen and hear that they're not alone, or that it's pretty normal to go through a lot of the stuff that I go through on a regular basis. So that's why I'm here doing this. And, I'm glad you're here. If you're here watching, tuning in and listening. But anyway, so this is only my second one. Yesterday's I just recorded it on my computer and I didn't edit it at all. And I published it yesterday. So if you want to check that out, it's posted on my YouTube channel. And also on my Facebook business page, as well as in some Facebook groups I shared it to and such. But today I thought, you know what, I'm going to try this live streaming thing. So I got StreamYard, and I'm really happy with it so far. I think it's pretty cool, and it's allowing me to stream this out to up to 8 locations, or destinations is what they call it. So I'm broadcasting this to my Facebook profile, my Facebook business page, my business Facebook page for my actual business, and then to 3 of my Facebook groups that are built into my business, my YouTube channel, and I was going to try to do LinkedIn too, but LinkedIn didn't actually work, or didn't actually go through. So I don't know what happened with that. It just gave me some message about it's limited and I couldn't get access to it. So it's not going out to LinkedIn at the moment, but that's the plan. Plan is every time I do one of these vlogs to go live, and it should show up live in all these locations. And I'm going to try to shoot for once a day, probably around the same time. It'll probably be around noon, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Today I got a little late start because I was playing around with StreamYard and trying to see what happens. But that's what I'm doing. That's what's happening. And right now I'm going to, going back to what I was saying earlier about doing this vlogging and doing this overall. It's something that, like I said, I should have started doing about 8 years ago when I first got into digital marketing. Pretty much, like I said, I did a couple episodes back in 2017. I published to an old Facebook channel that YouTube channel that I had that really wasn't too dedicated to anything, and then I kind of fell off because I just didn't stick with it. And this time around, I'm really going to do this, and I'm really going to stick with it. I'm going to see what happens. We'll see what the outcome is. But also, it took a while for me to really, literally, and be honest with you, overcome my fears of doing this sort of thing, right? Being scared about not knowing what to say on camera, how I look on camera, how I sound on camera, all these things, right? So the 3 main things you need to really overcome to get on video is you need to be able to, number one, you need to be able to feel really comfortable about how you sound. So you got to get used to hearing yourself back on video and audio and say, you know what, okay, that's not how I sound when I talk, but that's what my voice sounds like overall. And you just got to get comfortable with that idea, okay? Because that's number one. Usually people say, oh, I hate the way I sound. All right. Number 2, you need to get used to how you look on camera, right? So you can't be too worried about, whether or not you look really good or you look horrible or anything like that. You just you gotta forget about it. You gotta say, you know what? It is what it is. It's how people look at me. And the biggest reason it's hard to get over that judgment of yourself is because every single time you look at yourself in the mirror typically, right? So everything is reversed. So you get used to looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, oh, you're comfortable with that. You're like, I look pretty good. And then you see yourself maybe on a video where you're not reversed because it's not a mirror image, and you're like, man, I don't like how I look, or I don't like the way I look. And so you got to get over that. And I finally, came to that conclusion probably late 2020 when I was doing a lot of TikToking. So that's why I was like, okay, I just got to get over this. And then the third thing you need to really do is you got to get over your fear of judgment, right? You got to get over your fear of what people might think about what you're doing or why you're doing it, or you just can't worry about what others think. You got to do what you got to do. You got to do why you got to do it, because you want to do it, because you think it's the right thing to do, all that sort of thing. So, don't worry about fear of judgment. And then, of course, I said 3 things, but I'm going to over deliver. And the 4th thing you need to ignore all the haters and the trolls. You're going to have them no matter what. You're going to have them even if you're perfect, you say all the right stuff. If you're, a supermodel, or you're, whatever, it does not matter. You're going to get people that are going to troll you and hate on you. And you just got to get comfortable with that too. And the best thing to do with that, ignore it. Don't look at it. Don't read it. Or, like I do, I've gotten hate mail, hate emails basically over time, from people for whatever reason, just saying some crazy things. I think the last one I got was I sent an email to my list, and some guy who hadn't opened my emails in forever opened an email and said, you should belong to a cult, is what he said. Now, what the heck does that mean? Why the heck did he even say that? So I mulled it over for a second. Of course, it irritates me when I get stuff like that, but then guess what? It's gone. I just It's out of my mind, and I'm on to the next thing. So that's what you have to do, right? And once you conquer all the first three, for sure, and then that fourth one, you'll be golden. You'll be good to go. You won't have to worry about it. And believe me when I say that you should do this for all sorts of reasons, and primarily because it really helps your reach and your algorithm and everything else when it comes to social media. So if you're trying to get more exposure, you want to just build your brand more, or whatever it might be, you definitely want to be using as much video as you possibly can. And if you can go live like I'm doing right now, it really, really, really helps. So that's just my 2 cents about it. But I thought I would bring that up since it's something that's been on the top of my mind lately since I'm starting to do all this stuff. On another note, I switching gears a little bit, and this is something that is way off topic, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, is that I don't know about you, but I am a huge movie buff. I've been a movie buff since I was just a teenager. And then as I grown older, I've really come to like in the back of my mind, I've got this, list of movies that are my like all-time favorites. Right. And I'm sure you may have some of those as well. Well, my son now is getting to the age, Colton, he's getting to the age of enjoying movies a lot more than he would have, say a couple years ago. So he's 14, he's going to be 15 in March here. And so we started a movie list that I created with him probably about a little over a year ago. I think it was before COVID or so, but it was right around then. And what we've done is we've created this Google Sheet, and I've listed basically my all-time favorite movies, which started out as like 40 or 50 movies. And now after we've done some additional digging around on some websites to think about some other ones that were kind of in the back of my mind, but I hadn't really been thinking about a lot, we added to this list. And this list is now like 140, let me see here. It's about 145 movies right now. All right. And we've watched, let's see, let me count down how many we've watched. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. We've watched like 32 of the 145 movies so far. All right. And we just watched another one last night, and that one happened to be Fletch. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that movie or not, but it's an oldie but goodie. It was made in 1985, I believe, and it stars Chevy Chase, and he's just a newspaper reporter that investigates some stories and writes under the handle of Jane Doe, which is really kind of funny. And of course, he's comedic in nature, and it's just a great movie. It's got tons of great lines that are, it's basically almost like a cult classic type film. But it's goofy, and it's it is what it is. But it's funny, and I think we'll probably end up watching Fletch Lives, a sequel, either tonight or tomorrow night. Well, it depends on what our schedule looks like. But anyway, if you hadn't seen Fletch, I highly recommend it. It's good. You'll like it. If you have seen it, I'm sure you can identify. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But just to give you some backdrop in this movie list, I mean, it's just a quick rundown of movies I have on here. I pretty much have all the Jerry Bruckheimer, Don Simpson movies ever made. So, we've got stuff as far back as like, Beverly Hills Cop, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Top Gun. We have, Crimson Tide. We have Armageddon. We have Con Air, The Rock. We've got Black Hawk Down. We have, what else do we have on this list? We have, as far as those are concerned, let's see. Oh, Days of Thunder, of course. Just absolutely love all Jerry Bruckheimer, Don Simpson movies, right? And I'm sure there's a few more that I've not really listing here in my mind of other ones that I really like, but those are just some of the ones I can think of off the top of my head. And then, of course, really, really love Christopher Nolan. So we love the Batman series, right? Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises, of course, Inception, The Prestige is a great movie, right? Interstellar is awesome. We're going to probably watch Dunkirk. I heard that's good. We haven't seen it yet, so that's on the list. Memento, of course, is awesome. And then, of course, I've got all the Mission Impossibles because I think they're all pretty darn good. Some old school classics that are some of my favorites, like Roadhouse and Point Break and Speed. Of course, the Indiana Jones movies, Back to the Future movies, Lethal Weapon movies, Taken movies. I love those, right? The Matrix movies. Yeah, so you get the drift, right? It's a huge list. Perhaps I'll share it if anybody wants it in case they are wanting to watch some of those same movies. I've got the whole list created here. But anyway, so that's what we're working on. We've been working on it, but we're only 32 out of 145 on this list. And this list, sometimes it feels like it continues to grow, but I think it's pretty complete overall. If you got any ideas and other movies that, you don't know what I have on this list completely because I haven't mentioned all 145, but if there's something obscure that's really good, perhaps I don't have it, or maybe I forgot about it because it's older, let me know and I'll add it to the list. And on another note that's happened and it's on my mind is I've been doing a lot more social posting lately to Instagram and then sharing that over to Facebook, my Facebook business page. And then I've been sharing it from my business page to my profile and then sharing also to my Facebook groups. And for some reason, and I don't know why for sure, but all the posts on my Facebook profile are not necessarily showing up in the news feed to my friends and family members. And I'm not sure why that's happening. They're not really heavily marketing angled. They're more or less just some cool stuff. And then, of course, I do have in some of the texts and some of them just, a little hint that, if you're interested in learning more, doing more, you should perhaps maybe join my group coaching program. So perhaps Facebook is smart enough to figure out that some of my posts are more marketing driven and they don't want me to be posting basically promotional type posts to my feed or to my friends' feeds. I don't know. It's really odd. But I just took this one post I did recently that was the Jimmy V quote of "Don't give up, don't ever give up." And I just reposted it as if I never shared it, right? I just posted it directly to my profile yesterday. And so far it's gotten basically 0 likes, 0 comments or anything like that. So if you happen to watch this and you happen to see any of that stuff pass through your news feed, I'd love for you to make a comment and let me know that you saw it or like it or something. That'd be cool. I'm not, like I said, I don't really know why it's happening, but I checked my wife's news feed and it didn't show up there. And then I checked my mom's news feed and it wasn't showing up there either, which, of course, those are the two people who are on Facebook the most in my family and the closest to me. So if anyone should see that coming off my profile, it should be them, right? Doesn't make sense. Don't really understand it. Otherwise, what else do I know? Not much. I don't know if there's a timer. Okay, there is a timer. I've been on here for about 19 minutes. That's cool. Yesterday I went about 27 minutes and I don't need to go that long. I could go longer depending on what I'm talking about, right? But just wanted to show you really quickly my stream here has the ability to show some cool things with banners, which like I said, I'm playing around with this StreamYard software, which is pretty neat. And it's pretty cool because it lets me go live on all these platforms at the same time. And then it allows me to do things like show these banners. So I can do something like this where I can show this banner here that says, hey, if you need help with growing your business, join my group coaching program here. And it's, shows that URL. And then I can turn it off. That's cool. And then if I want to say, I can show this one. It says, tune in and watch or listen to my weekly podcast, The Kerry Knoll Show. And it has the URL as well. That's pretty cool, kerryspodcast.com. Hint, hint, if you want to tune in and listen to that or watch that, that'd be cool. And I can turn it off. And then I think there's some other cool things I can do. Like we can comment and I can chat and people can send private messages, I think. And If I had someone else join the stream, I can split the screen view and have that person on the screen with me. And it's just it's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. If you haven't used StreamYard yet, I highly suggest you try it out and let me know what you think. Yeah, so I think that's it. If there's anything else I think of, I'll just hop right back on here and fire up another live stream, and I'll talk a little bit more about whatever it is that's going on. But in the meantime, if you could hop on over and subscribe or like or leave a comment for me on any of these channels, that would be awesome. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be, like I said, I'm likely going to be going live and doing this daily. Although there's going to be some days where I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to it because I'm going to be on the road traveling to various basketball tournaments over the coming weekends. And so I'm sure those days will be difficult for me to hop on here and actually do one. So it probably won't be every single day, but it'll darn close to almost every single day. We'll see. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to sign off. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. And I'm going to check out the results and see how this all works. And then I'll be back hopefully tomorrow with another one, roughly around the same time frame. Okay. So with that being said, have a great day, and I'll speak with you soon.